2020.
Very true. It's one of those interesting years.
Jack's mother's sister.
Got it.
We just need to go play some golf.
Yeah. You golf?
I'm horrible. I will admit that 100%, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
being outdoors.
yeah, a lot of my customers like to golf, and so, you know, most of them are horrible also, so then it's okay.
Yeah.
It works out all okay.
Okay, Sean? You ready? Okay. Everybody ready? Ready? Ready, Brenda? All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Town of Loomis Town Council meeting, and I'd like to call our meeting to order at 7 o'clock, December 8th, 2020. So let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Onderko?
Here.
Councilmember Duncan?
Here.
Councilmember Morales?
Here.
Councilmember Baker?
Here.
Mayor Clark Kretz?
Here. I want to remind everybody that we are on YouTube, and everything is on our agenda. So if you want to go to the town website and download the agenda, it will have both the YouTube links and the Zoom links. All right. So first item on our business is a canvass of election returns.
So you have in your packet the results of the general election, November 3rd, 2020 presidential general election, and so we'll need a motion and a second to approve that canvass.
I so move.
That's second. Second.
Okay, may we have roll call, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Councilmember Morales?
Aye.
Councilmember Duncan?
Aye.
Councilmember Onderko?
Aye.
Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Mayor Clark Kretz?
Aye. At this time, the council will conduct ceremonial matters. The town clerk will do the administration of oath of office for new town council Jenny Nisley and James Danny Cartwright.
Okay. So Jenny, you hold your hand up. Okay. And I'll say I, and then you say your own name, okay? I,
James Danny Cartwright.
do solemnly, and repeat after me, I'm sorry. Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
of the United States and the Constitution of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear
true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and I will well
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
of which I am about to enter.
Very good. Thank you.
Congratulations to our new council members. Would either one of you like to say anything at this point? Councilmember Nisley, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a thanks to my committee for encouraging me and believing in me. And then I wanted to say thanks to the residents for voting, and that I promise that I will listen and represent all the members of the community. And also to our businesses, that I'll still be around and promote and help them through this time. And to my fellow council members and to the staff, I will work hard to practice good governance. So that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I would also like to express my gratitude and thanks to the voters of Loomis, and that means all voters, those who voted for me and against me, because I believe in the civic duty of the residents to do so, and we don't have 100% participation in that matter. So for those who did participate, kudos to you, and for those who did not participate, I would just encourage you to reconsider in the future, because I believe it's our obligation as residents. So with that, I'd also like to extend a great thank you to the people who have helped me in my campaign with COVID. This was a different campaign season, and also this is my first campaign, and campaigning was a bit different. There was no speaking in front of civic organizations as might be traditional in the past, and so for those who were helping me with phone calls and text messages and spreading the good word and introducing me to those who I did not know previously, I express a great thank you and gratitude for their efforts.
Thank you. All right, at this time, the town attorney will do the administration of oath of office for Roger Carroll, town treasurer, and Charlene Cricket-Strock, town clerk.
All right, if you would raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and truly and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
Congratulations. At this time, I would like to take a recess so that we have the changing of the mayor and new council.
Yes.
You're still the mayor, so you gotta stay where you're at.
You have to vote. You have to vote in the new mayor.
Okay, ready? Is Jenny ready? Ready? Okay.
Got a head nod.
All right, welcome back, everybody. At this time, the selection of mayor and mayor pro tem for the term December 2020 through the seating of the new mayor at the beginning of the first regular meeting of December will occur. And how it works, I want to remind the people, is typically whoever wins the most votes in the election is considered for the position of mayor, and second place is considered would be mayor pro tem. And so Mr. Duncan was the second place of the last election, and our incoming Jenny Nisley won the most votes for this election. So it's a rotating position. So we will need a motion for both appointments. Do I have a motion for our new mayor for the coming year?
Would you like them individually or just?
We'll do one motion at a time.
One motion at a time, okay. I move the Honorable Jeff Duncan to serve as mayor.
Okay. Do I hear a second? I'll second. And may we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Baker.
Aye.
Oh, sorry.
Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark-Kretz?
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright?
Aye.
Okay, Mayor Jeff Duncan.
Aye.
Okay.
And Jenny.
Oh, and Jenny, that's right. Councilmember Nisley.
Aye.
Okay.
All right. So we have a new mayor, Mayor Duncan. Now we need a motion for mayor pro tem. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion, the Honorable Jenny Nisley to serve as mayor pro tem.
Okay. I'll second.
Councilmember,
Sorry. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Baker.
Aye.
Councilmember Clark-Kretz.
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright.
Aye.
Councilmember Nisley.
Aye.
And Mayor Duncan.
Aye.
And so passes. Excellent.
Now it's me.
No
Okay.
pressure.
Now we're going to take a moment for recognition of our outgoing mayor, Mayor Jan Clark-Kretz, and we have a plaque for Jan, and this is for your dedicated service as the mayor for the town of Loomis. And I'd just like to say that you did an awesome job as mayor, and probably the most historically challenging year of our past history, 100 years or whatever, but you did an excellent job, and it is reassuring to me that you're still on the council to help us as we dig our way out of this, and at the same time work on our general plan update. So that gives me solace in knowing that you're not leaving totally. So I'm glad you're still here. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Duncan. Thank you, Mayor Duncan. I just want to say to the people of the town of Loomis, this has been just such an honor for me and a privilege to serve as your mayor over the last year. And I also want you to know that we are in the best of hands with our town staff, and working so closely with them over the last year has been just one of my most incredible positive moments of my career, if you want to call it a career. And just want to thank Sean Rabe and everybody, Cricket and Roger and Mary Beth and Carol, and all the public works guys. And if I've missed anybody, I do apologize, but really and truly we are blessed beyond belief at the top quality people that we have working for us in our town. Also thank my town council members. It's weird. This is my first, I'm an elected official. This is my first election, and to lose 2 of my team members is very strange as a businesswoman. I'm very excited about the new people coming in, looking forward to working with them, but I enjoyed working with our group, and I will miss them very, very much. But I thank each and every one of you for working as hard and as close as we did over the last year. And then finally, I want to thank my family. My husband, thank you so much for your support, and my darling daughter, who, without her support and helping me out at our local business, it wouldn't have been possible. So with that said, thank you all very much. Again, it was an honor, and I thank you again.
All right, thanks, Jan. And now we'll have recognition for outgoing council member Tim Underko. And Councilmember Baker, would you like to present him with a plaque and read
Absolutely.
a proclamation?
Absolutely. Do you want me to do it up here, here? Yeah, so we can get the microphone. Got it. Well, I gotta say, it's been quite the privilege serving with Tim, and I am gonna miss his preparedness, his zeal, his enthusiasm for Loomis and the things that are going on. So we have 2 different plaques here. One of it is, the first one's the Town of Loomis Certificate of Recognition for Tim Underko, whereas Tim has been on the council since December 13th, 2016. During that time, he has served as mayor for a year and devoted countless hours and to numerous community service efforts, organizations, and region where he represented Loomis well, whereas Tim has been an advocate for open government for the people he served and has been a strong support and encouraging youth in the community and civics in the local schools, whereas Tim has been instrumental in bettering the relationship between the town of Loomis and our local, regional, and state partners. And whereas during his time on council, he was part of the decision making for the downtown master plan, phase 1, 2, and 3, and the completion, taking control of the Loomis Library and Community Learning Center operations and management, hiring a community engagement librarian, and several assistants to better serve the community and approval of the Costco development. And whereas Tim has served many hours on the Sacramento Area Council of Governments Board, Greater Sacramento Economic Council, and as the school liaison, and Borders Committee and business committees. Now, therefore, it is hereby proclaimed that the town, by the town council of the town of Loomis, that we express our sincere thanks and gratitude to Tim Underko for the long dedicated hours of volunteering and unselfless time and effort in our community. And I thank you for that. We have one more, don't worry. And we have another plaque with sincere gratitude and appreciation for your long hours of dedicated service on the Loomis Town Council. It gives dates here from 12/13/2016 to 12/8/2020, but I imagine that last date will continue if I know anything about you, and I look forward to working with you and seeing where the future leads for you. But it's been great. It's great having you as a friend. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Can I say a few words, Mr. Mayor? Well, first of all, congratulations, Mr. Mayor. I like to look at this as early retirement, but also a major upgrade for the town. Danny and Jenny, congratulations, Jenny. This is a fantastic town to help lead, and I would say that at your disposal and at your, within the town of Loomis, you have a tremendous staff that you should rely on and you should lean on. there's going to be a lot of things that come up that you have questions about. And 4 years ago when Sean came aboard, I think we were all really impressed by him during the interview. And Sean, you've become everything, and you are everything as advertised, and much more. And so I want to thank you, Sean, for your steady hand and getting the town to the point where it is today. It wasn't easy coming in at that time. So thank you, and tremendous work, and keep it going, Sean. Brian, you're one of my best friends. I love you like a brother. 6-7 years ago, if you were to look at my phone log, you would have seen a very heavy amount of phone calls to Brian, and I was insistent on Brian appointing me to the planning commission because I thought I had a lot to offer, and I finally broke him down. So for anyone who doesn't like any of the things I've done over the last 4 years, you can blame Brian Baker. I'll take the compliments, however. But thank you, Brian. Jan, it's been a pleasure, and last year, and actually in 2019, I thought I had the roughest time. When the village was going through its cycle, and I thought there's no one that's going to have a more difficult time serving as mayor. I've had the most challenging of times, but lo and behold, COVID hits, and Jan's hit with a tremendous amount of pressure. And however, I'm really amazed, Jan, at how well you've done, and you've kept your head up, and you've kept people as positive as you can. And so I congratulate you, and I really have been impressed. I admire your talents. You are a quick learner, and those are not things that you learn necessarily. Those talents are often nature given. So thank you. Mr. Duncan, congratulations. I'm looking forward to watching you work hard. I will be in the audience oftentimes as the eyes and the ears of the citizens. I'll be one of many that's keeping an eye on you guys, making sure you're doing the steady work that you're supposed to do. I'm almost done. This is turning out to be a little bit longer, but we have a tremendous staff. Roger, Cricket, congratulations on your long careers here. I love you both, really. And Rhonda, my goodness, Rhonda. Someone accused the council the other night of having a lack of a woman problem in the town because we didn't appoint enough people to one of the housing committee recommendation committees. But I got to say, we've got a tremendous example of strong women in this room right now, along with Jenny. And Rhonda, you are symbolic of that. And I don't think that Loomis has any problem with strong women at its leadership core, and you've done a tremendous job over the last 25 years. Has it been 28 years? All right, Rhonda. Well, thank you for your service, and you've taught me a lot. I think in the group dynamic we've had over the last 4 years, I look to Rhonda a lot of the times to give us a historical perspective of things that a lot of us who have not been around Loomis as long as Rhonda has, and I leaned on that a lot, and I really appreciate your partnership and all that we've done together. So, Rhonda, I love you also, all right? So, having said that, I appreciate to the voters and to the people of Loomis, I appreciate the opportunity. It's been a tremendous honor to be in this position, and all I would say is remain active and diligent, and keep your leaders feet to the fire, because they are accountable to you, the voters and the constituents, and you owe your community your eyes and your voice and your ears. And having said that, this is not goodbye. I will see you in a different life form, all right? I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you all.
Hey, Tim.
All right, thanks, Tim. Now we'll have a recognition for outgoing Councilmember Rhonda Marillis. Councilmember Clark Kretz, would you mind reading the proclamation? And you want to come out this way?
Uh-oh.
Speak up.
Speaking up.
No.
Can you trade?
You want the podium mic? Or me? You want my mic?
Yeah.
Now you won't be able to plug it in.
I'll just go.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? All right. What an incredible honor it is to be able to talk about Rhonda. And being able to work with her over the last 2 years has been an incredible honor. She has given the town of Loomis 28 years of her life. And what a wonderful thing that is. And I wanted to just in advance thank her family, Adam, Catherine, Katie, and Katie's daughter, Sierra, Matthew, Adam, Jessica. Oh, Jessica. Okay, I'm sorry. Got it. Well, anyway, I'm sorry I messed up on their names, but I know that they love you very much, and you know, you gave a lot of time away for our town. So I'm going to read this certificate of recognition. Whereas Rhonda Morales is a fourth generation to live and work in Loomis. She has always been active in community service as a charter member of Seroptimists, PM of Eastern Star, advisor for Rainbow Girls and 4-H, and was appointed town clerk for 3 years. In 1992, she was elected on the town council, and since that time, she has been a strong advocate for open government, for the people, and supported economic growth for our local businesses. And whereas Rhonda Morales served as mayor 7 years on the town council, 7, and spent hours serving on the Placer County Flood Control Water Conservation District Board and liaison on the Borders Committee. And whereas Rhonda has been a valuable resource with a wealth of knowledge on the history of Loomis and the incorporation of the town of Loomis. And whereas for the past 28 years, Rhonda was involved in every decision made to keep Loomis as it is today. Following are some of the projects that she was a part of, just to name a few. Bringing Rayleigh's to Loomis, ownership of Sunrise Loomis Park from Placer County and adding the improvements, purchasing property to put in Dock Barnes Drive for better road circulation and leasing a portion of the property to the Loomis Chamber of Commerce, purchasing property on Rippey Road and building a Public Works Corporation yard, updating the general plan, purchasing property and putting in the Magnolia parking lot to help with downtown parking, acquiring the land at the end of Walnut Street, purchasing the old Bank of Loomis building on Taylor Road and remodeling the building to current standards for use as a permanent town hall, purchasing property with Union Pacific Railroad to acquire the 10 acres of land in downtown Loomis that allowed the town to develop part of it for the Blue Goose Park and all the improvements, the multi-use plaza, and the Walnut Street parking lot. Obtaining and renovation of the historic train depot building to use as council chambers and events. The Loomis sign on the Horseshoe Bar Road overpass. Completing the downtown master plan phases 1, 2, and 3, and approval of Costco. Whereas, out of all the many projects Rhonda has been involved in, she is the proudest of being a part of saving the Loomis Library, which is now called the Loomis Library and Community Learning Center. Now, therefore, it is hereby proclaimed by the Town Council of the Town of Loomis that we express our sincere thanks and gratitude to Rhonda Morales for the long and dedicated hours in volunteering her unselfish time and effort in our community. Rhonda has left a footprint on the hearts of all she has touched that will leave an everlasting impression on the citizens of Loomis. Thank you. And so with that, we're going to give Rhonda this certificate recognition. And also we have another plaque for her. Rhonda Morales, with sincere gratitude and appreciation for your long hours of dedicated service on the Loomis Town Council, December 7th, 1992 to December 8th, 2020. Congratulations. Would you like to say some things?
Thank you to everyone that supported me all these years, and the staff has been outstanding. And it's an emotional night, so I think that's all. Thank you very much.
And we have one more beautiful bouquet of flowers on behalf of the town that we wanted to give you. Thank you, Rhonda. You are an amazing woman that we treasure.
Thank you.
Rhonda, over here. I just want to say thank you. It's been great serving with you. I look at the history of the council, all the people that we've had that have served through all the years, and I can't think of a greater champion for the people of Loomis than you. You've had such a caring heart and have been just an absolute pleasure to serve with, and I hope that you'll allow me to bend your ear from time to time on some issues, and I really do appreciate your friendship and being able to serve with you.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks.
Can I say something?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay. Rhonda, I'm sorry I'm not there, but I am very, very proud to call you my friend and a mentor. And I want to thank you so much for all you've done for the town of Loomis and making a better quality of life for our community. I just really thank you from the bottom of my heart, Rhonda.
All right, thanks, Jenny, and thank you, Rhonda. And I will miss all of the historical lessons that you would give us about what was happening prior to the town's incorporation, because it does answer a lot of questions of what is happening nowadays. So thanks again, Rhonda. So now we have the portion of our agenda for matters of interest to council members. Does any of the council members have any matters of interest? Okay, Brian.
I just want to say thank you to the guys from the American Legion, Russ Kelly, to the Loomis leadership, the chamber for putting up the Christmas tree and the decorations downtown, and just what a great job that they do every year. And I know that the difficulties through this year with COVID going on, but just for all the efforts that were made to make Loomis a special place, especially for our youth and our kids. And I'm just really grateful for those that stepped up and worked on that.
Thank you, Brian. Nothing. Jenny or Danny, do you have any matters of interest?
I do not.
I'll save mine to the committee report.
All right. Thank you, Jenny. Well, I have something to say, matters of interest. I'm interested in the safety and security of our town of Loomis, and I am concerned, as many of the citizens are, with the uptick in the property crimes, vandalism, and reckless driving in our community. And I know our law enforcement officers are addressing those issues, probably as we speak right now. But another safety issue is the health of our community. We need to adhere to the recommendations of our health experts. We need to wear masks, practice social distancing, and wash our hands, and do so as if someone's life depends upon it. We need to do it so that we do not overwhelm the emergency rooms or the intensive care units, and end the closing of our small businesses that have invested in safely serving our customers. There's been a lot of investment, and I know this because my wife's business has been impacted as well. But just as important, we need to treat our neighbors with respect and kindness. Everyone cannot stay at home due to a compromised immune system. Many people are vulnerable, but they cannot afford not to work. If wearing masks helps protect your neighbors and keep our business open, then that is a small price to pay. And that's all I have to say at this time. Thanks. Okay, so now I'll turn it over to the town manager for his monthly report. Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I just have a couple things. You touched on this a little bit, but the primary piece that I wanted to talk about tonight was the COVID-19 update and kind of the status of all that. So, this situation continues to be very fluid between what's happening on the state level, plus the local level, county level, and obviously nationwide. But the governor recently instituted a new regional approach to COVID-19 restrictions, in addition to the color tier approach for the blueprint for a safer economy that was established a couple months ago. And so what that new regional approach does is if our ICU levels for the region that we're in, which is the greater Sacramento area, if our ICU capacity drops below 15%, then there'll be a regional stay-at-home order issued for the greater Sacramento area. And that includes like Sacramento County, Yolo County, Placer County, I believe El Dorado County is in there as well. I can't remember who else is in there, but definitely Placer County would be impacted by that. As of today, I checked this afternoon, and our according to the state's COVID-19 dashboard, our region has an 18.8% ICU capacity, so we've got a little bit of buffer there, but not much. So our area is not yet facing that regional shutdown order, but if it does drop below, we're under the shutdown order for a period of 3 weeks until our ICU numbers can get back up over the 15%. And I just want to talk about what happens under that stay-at-home order. So the primary thing that happens obviously is people aren't able to move around the way that they were before, obviously with the stay-at-home order. But critical infrastructure is able to remain open with safety precautions. Schools remain open. Non-urgent medical care and dental care remains open. Child care and pre-K remains open. But there's a host of restrictions and modifications that are, in addition to 100% masking and physical distancing, that would occur. And so those are, outdoor recreational facilities are allowed, but only for specific reasons. Retail is allowed at only 20% capacity. Shopping centers are allowed at 20% capacity. Restaurants shift to being only able to have takeout or delivery only. Offices are supposed to go towards remote work. And then if we're in a regional stay-at-home order, specific areas are closed, and that includes indoor and outdoor playgrounds. Hair salons and barbershops are to be closed. Personal care services are to be closed. Wineries, bars, breweries, and distilleries are to be closed. And so you can see the kind of wide-ranging impact that would have on the town if we end up moving into that stay-at-home order. And so kind of the thrust of all of this is that just continue to wear a face covering in public, do your social distancing, keep your hands washed, and try to slow down the spread and the surge that's happening in the hospitals. On the town operations side, we continue to move forward as we have for the past few months, and if we do move into a stay-at-home order, we'll be in kind of that same mode. Nothing will really change on the town operations side as an essential service. But one thing I did want to point out is we anticipated reopening the library to like kind of part-time opening for the public to come in. Because of us moving into the purple tier now, even though we're not under the stay-at-home order, we've made the decision to hold off on that opening, and we're going to continue the services that we're offering now with the building closed to the public, because there's no way for we don't want to open the library up in the middle of being in the purple tier and then potentially have to close it anyways if we go into the regional stay-at-home order. So library will continue doing what it's doing now with the curbside service, which has been quite successful. The public counter hours at Town Hall remain 9 a.m. to noon, Monday through Thursday, still closed on Fridays, and then the building inspections continue as well, though we're not doing in-person, in-house inspections because of the situation with COVID. I wanted to point out something that, our staff is very lean, right? We have a small staff, 13 people total work for this whole town, including Public Works and the library now. And that's good to keep our budget numbers down, make sure that, and we're able to function perfectly fine with that small staff, except in situations with COVID. And what happened right before Thanksgiving is all 4 of our public works guys were out on an emergency call, and they were exposed to somebody who was tested positive for COVID. That person didn't tell them until the next day. And so as soon as we found out about that, 100% of our public works employees were put in quarantine, which means that the town has no public works employees until that quarantine is either lifted or until they get tested and get negative tests. So there was a period of about 4 days where the public works director, Dave Strzok, was on quarantine, but he was still working by himself in the courtyard and going out in his truck and doing work that needed to be done. But if we had an emergency, we didn't have anybody to respond. And so I made contact with the county. The county offered, actually I asked the county if they would be willing to allow us to call the county if we needed an emergency help and use the county folks. And he said that'd be fine. The county exec offered that to us. So we were covered. But the point is that if you have symptoms that are consistent with COVID, stay at your house and don't interact with people, because you don't know who you're going to be interacting with. And so, if God forbid we had a major emergency and we had nobody, in the public works crew that could go out, if they did show symptoms, and thankfully, by the way, they all tested negative and none of them have symptoms, so that's good. They were wearing masks for the most part. But if you have symptoms, stay in your house and don't interact with people, because you don't know who you're going to be interacting with and how that's going to impact not only them, but then the people that they're impacting, their families and all that. So please stay in your house, especially if you have positive symptoms and if you've tested positive. Mayor Duncan spoke about this a little bit, but there's been an uptick in crime recently. So we've had several mailbox thefts throughout the town, several cases of vandalism or theft of holiday decorations. And so apparently the Grinches have been rather active recently in our neighborhoods, taking holiday decorations for whatever reason they're doing that. I've spoken with the county, with the sheriff's office about that, with Lieutenant Brian Silva. He's assured me that PCSO is actively working on those problems. His advice, as he posted to their Loomis Facebook page, is to continue to check your mail every day, so you're not leaving mail in your mailbox longer than you need to, and leave exterior lights on at night, so that way you've got some kind of lighting. If the people show up, then they'll be lit up at least. He is going to be presenting an update on Loomis crime statistics and the PCSO response at our January council meeting as well. So we'll get that response. Wanted to give an update on the Rural Main Street Technical Assistance Program. So that's the program that we just had the presentation on last night from Michelle Reeves. That was done through Zoom. She provided a robust discussion of Loomis's civic identity, which will continue to feed into the larger general plan update. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, the Town Manager Tuesday events that I was holding, those were put on hiatus for November and December because of the proximity to the holidays. We'll be picking those back up in January, the 4th Tuesday of the month, starting at 9 o'clock. And for at least January, maybe going into February, they'll be through Zoom. And so I'll figure out a way to post that to Facebook so folks can see it. And we'll set that Zoom meeting up. So that's all that I got. I can answer questions if council members have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? Jenny? No? Okay, thank you, Sean.
I think you need to open it up to public comment as well.
Okay.
We haven't gotten there yet.
What about the chamber?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
We will now hear from the Chamber of Commerce update from Chamber President Ryan D. Martini.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it. I will go ahead and keep this short for you. So this week, the Chamber Board met to have a strategic planning session to help determine how we can best assist businesses this coming year as well as this holiday season. That's still in process, and we'll keep you updated as we move forward. Also, we've been working consistently with Placer County and other local chambers for the Shop Placer program, where we're promoting and pushing for people to shop local this holiday season, as well as in general. And then lastly, with Jenny getting elected to the council, She is stepping down from her role as manager for the chamber, and she's actually in the process of helping us find a suitable replacement for her. So thank you for all your help with the chamber, Jenny, over the years. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. We will now open it up for public comments for items not on the agenda. This time is reserved for those in the audience who wish to address the town council on subjects that are not on the agenda. The audience should be aware that the council may not discuss details or vote on non-agenda items. The council may refer your concerns raised during public comment to staff or placed on future agenda. As with past meetings, public comment will be held using the Zoom platform through the link on the agenda posted to the town's website. You must use the raise your hand feature to notice the town that you'd like to make a public comment. If you're joining only by phone, you will need to hit *9 to raise your hand. Sean, do we have anyone wishing to make public comment?
Yeah, we do. So first would be Supervisor Jim Holmes, and you're turned on, sir. But you'll need to unmute yourself.
All right, can you hear me? Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to join your meeting. I just wanted to congratulate the new electeds, Mr. Cartwright. I haven't met you yet, but Jenny, you're certainly going to be a great addition. And also Tim Onderco, what a class act, what a professional. Sorry to see you go, but I know you will be back. And I gotta say, Rhonda, you probably are the longest serving elected official in Placer County history. And I just want to thank you for the long-term service you've done to your community, and wish you really well, and hopefully we can stay in touch. And I'll have something else to say when I talk about the library. That concludes my comment.
Sorry, I muted you too early. Sorry about that.
All right, thanks, Jim. Any other comments?
Yeah. So next up will be Miguel Yukovic. Miguel, you're ready to go. You just need to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me? Oh, okay, thanks. First, I'd like to congratulate Rhonda for her outstanding years of service to the community. It's been a pleasure when I was on the council working with you, Rhonda, and you've always been a real strong supporter of the community and all the people, and you'll be greatly missed, but I'm sure you'll still be involved. Secondly, I'd like to congratulate the two new members to the council. I'm sure you'll have an enjoyable time, and the community will be better off for you serving on it. And thirdly, what I'd like to see, we've done a lot of beautification downtown. One thing I was wondering if we could maybe get the company that washes the windows downtown to wash the windows on the bus stops. I don't think they've ever been washed other than the ones that people did at the multimodal. And if you look at our bus stops, their windows are really dirty. So that's one thing I'd like to see done. And I want to thank everybody for allowing me to talk. Thank you.
Thanks, Miguel.
So next up will be David Ring. David, you're ready to go. Just there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So David Ring, 3486 Del Mar. I also want to say thank you to the outgoing council members, Tim and Rhonda, for their service on the council. And I wanted to congratulate both Jenny and Danny on their elections to the town council. I briefly considered contesting the election results because that seems to be the popular thing to do right now, but I ultimately decided against that. That was a joke, I hope you could tell. Anyway, good luck to both of you. I did have a question. Is the RTAP meeting that happened last night, was that recorded, and is there somewhere that we can see that online? And I did want to finally offer up my services. If there's anything that I can help with the town council or town hall, please let me know. Thanks.
Thanks, David.
Hi, David. This is Mary Beth, Planning Director. To answer your question regarding last night's presentation, the PowerPoint has been posted to our website under the Planning Department Current Projects tab. I haven't received the video recording of that session, but as soon as I receive it, it will also be posted in that same location.
So it is going to be up there?
It will be, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
And then our last comment so far is Russ Kelly. Russ, you're turned on.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank Rhonda. She was great to work with on the council, and she's been a good friend and a good addition to our town from the time she was born, as a matter of fact. But she's a great person to work with, and I'm sure she's not going anywhere. So we're glad to have her served all that time and do some good things for the town. And I appreciate everything, all the things that I worked with her on to be part of what we needed to do. And thank you, Rhonda. And also, I'd like to thank Tim Jericho for serving on the council, as well as Jan Clark Kretz for being the mayor and passing on the baton to Jeff. Looking forward to working with all of you. And I also want to thank all the people that helped. There was a lot of people that helped put the lights up in town, including the business owners and the American Legion and the Lions Club. And I've made some new friends because of the involvement that they've had downtown. And certainly we thank Jenny for getting us started on that and helping carry through to make sure that works. So thank you all very much.
Thanks, Russ.
That's it.
So seeing no other public comment, can I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda?
Motion to approve agenda.
Second.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark-Kretz?
Aye.
Councilmember Nisley?
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright?
Aye.
And Mayor Duncan?
Aye. Okay. Motion passes unanimously. So next we have the consent calendar. Do we have any members wishing to comment on the consent calendar? As a reminder, public comment will be held using the Zoom platform through the link on the agenda posted to the town's website. You must use the raise your hand feature to notice the town that you'd like to make a public comment. If you are joining only by phone, you will need to hit *9 to raise your hand.
So we do have one public comment from David Ring. You're on.
Yeah, I'd like to pull item 5, please. Do I comment about that now, or do I comment about that when after
We'll come back to you as soon
Okay,
as.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mr. Mayor, assuming that there's no further members of the public that wish to pull something off the consent, which it doesn't look like, and unless council has any other concerns about the consent agenda, you can ask for a motion and a second to approve 1 through 4, and then 6 through whatever the last number, whatever.
Would it just be 2 through 4, 6 through 9?
2 through 4, 6 through 9.
Make a motion to approve 2 through 4, 6 through 9.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve 2 through 4 and 6 through 9. Roll call vote.
Was Jenny the one that seconded?
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay. Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark-Kretz?
Aye.
Councilmember Nisley?
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright?
Aye.
Mayor Duncan?
Aye.
Okay.
All right, David, so you're able to ask your question on number 5?
Okay, so I read through the treasurer's report for the first time this past month, and assuming that I mean fully through it, and assuming that I read it correctly, I noticed that we have $250,000 invested in ExxonMobil. And I just wanted to point out that I did a little bit of research. I had someone else do the research for me, actually. And the net worth of Exxon over the last decade has fallen at a time when stock prices have been growing rapidly in most other sectors. That company's also been laying off American employees steadily over the last decade, even before COVID hit. And in October, they announced that they were no longer contributing to employees' retirement plans. To me, none of this sounds like a company that we should be investing in. So as far as I understand, we are getting a fixed rate of return on this investment. But with the decline in oil prices and the entire world moving in the direction of renewables over fossil fuels, I wonder if it might be a good time to invest that $250,000 in something else. So I was actually hoping that Roger would briefly explain how the corporate securities work, whether or not there's a time that's allowed for us to move the funds around, if that's possible. And also, I would like the council to take a look at reinvesting that money elsewhere. Thanks.
Okay, so, stop working. We can sell investments at any time.
Yeah.
We're not required to keep any investment to maturity. If we decide it doesn't fit our portfolio, we can diversify ours, or we can sell it and purchase something else. Right now, it's still properly rated, so there's unless if people feel that it's something we shouldn't have, then maybe I'll consider selling it. Otherwise, it's a solid investment. We have a very short-term horizon for our investments. We're not allowed to invest longer than 5 years. If I felt there was at any time when I start to feel like an investment is not carrying or safe, I divest us of it. I'll consider it. Thanks for your input.
Okay, thanks, Roger. For the time being, I guess we'll go ahead and get a motion for the treasurer's report.
Move approval of item 5.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark-Kretz?
Aye.
Councilmember Nisley?
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright?
Aye.
Mayor Duncan?
Aye. Okay. Let's see. Okay, our first item on the business agenda is the Loomis Library building purchase and sale agreement. I'll turn it over to Town Manager Sean Rabe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is a long time coming for us to have this on our agenda. When I first started working here in 2017, the library had just been saved through by the county providing the building to us on a lease. The Friends of the Library were running the building and the library on a volunteer basis, 100% volunteers. And then eventually they were able to hire a community service community engagement librarian to help run the library. Still being run by the Friends of the Library with a contract by the town for the operations side. All of that was funded by the great work of the Friends and folks of the community who put together the sales tax and excise tax program that allows for the funding of that library to actually work, because the town simply doesn't have the funds for that. So started working here. We're looking at the contract. Council approved moving the operations of the library in-house, and so we moved from having the volunteer group at the Friends, who did an amazing job to keep that thing running in the first place, to being an actual town department with only 1.5 employees. A year and a half later-ish, we now have 3.5 employees in the middle of COVID and running the library and basically doing almost as much work, actually a little bit more work than what was happening previously. So we've gone from this little library that kind of could, with this group of volunteers running it, to being an actual municipal library being funded through budgets. But the fact is that up until this, what you have in front of you tonight, the library is still owned by the county, and so I think it's a $10 a year lease or $1 a year lease, but on a 10-year lease. But the town didn't own the library, and so at the end of that 10-year lease, the county could choose to use it for other purposes. And so we started on the process with council's direction to look at negotiating to take control of the building in one way or another, either by getting a longer-term lease or hopefully through a purchase agreement and the town actually buying that property, or having the county give us the property. And so what you have in your packet today is the culmination of those negotiations that took place during the COVID stuff from my upstairs office / spare bedroom, and wherever the county folks were working at. I think that they were in their home offices too. I'm going to run through the terms of the deal. This was presented to council through our closed session negotiations and then relayed back to the county as well. And I believe that the county board is looking to vote on this next week. So I'm going to run through the key provisions of the agreement for you. The first is that the purchase price is $1. So the county is selling us the building and the property for $1. The town's responsible for preparing all the documents required to effectuate the transfer of the property. So that'd be the survey, the legal description, closing costs, etc., all that stuff that goes along with buying property. Town has a 60-day contingency period to review the preliminary title reports, etc., and we want to make sure to do that for sure, because we don't want to accidentally buy a nuclear reactor or something crazy, which I'm sure that there aren't those kind of issues, but we got to make sure that they're not. Ownership of the parking lot will remain with the county, though a use agreement for the lot will be created that allows the town to continue to use the lot. So if you go into the library property now, there's a parking lot that you drive into. Half of that parking is almost exclusively used for the library. The other half is used for the Memorial Hall, the Veterans Memorial Hall. Because the Memorial Hall is on a corner and doesn't have any parking of its own, the county owns both of those buildings. The county has asked that that parking lot be transferred and kept in with the Memorial Hall building rather than coming over to the library side. From staff's perspective, and when we talked about this through closed session, I don't have any concerns about that because the back of the library building is big enough to build a parking lot if for some reason we can't use the parking lot, the shared parking lot. The parking lot agreement is forthcoming. I haven't gone that yet, but all indications from the county are basically that it'll be the maintenance and operation of the parking lot will be split 50-50, and we'll just continue to use our half. They'll continue to use their half. The Memorial Hall, obviously, if they have a big event, they'll end up spilling over, but that's not an issue. The timing for those events are usually on opposite times of the day, so it shouldn't be a problem. There is a provision that that there has to be a signed parking lot agreement for the use of that parking lot before we can close escrow. There's a provision that the library property continue to be used solely for public purposes for a period of 10 years after the close of escrow. So I talked about the sales tax that's funding the library operation right now. That sales tax sunsets in 2026. We haven't talked about this specifically yet with council, but I'm assuming that council is going to want to go forward with another re-upping of that sales tax to be able to continue the operation of the library. And so we'll need to look at that when it gets closer to 2026. We don't want to have a gap in there where we don't have the sales tax funding the operation of the library. Even if that sales tax measure doesn't go forward and we don't have the income stream coming back, we'll still be able to use that property for a public purpose, whether it's a community center or running the library as it was being done before by the Friends of the Library as a volunteer library or something. We'll still be able to use that property for a public purpose. None of those are kind of the key provisions. There's nothing really in there that concerns staff. The only, if for some reason the town and the county aren't able to come to an agreement on the parking lot use agreement, then we don't close escrow, and we'll have to figure out what to do at that point. I'm assuming that there won't be any issues that hang up that parking lot agreement, just judging by the conversations that I've had with county staff. So at this point, excuse me, at this point, staff strongly recommends to you that you approve the attached resolution, which authorizes the mayor and the town manager to sign the documents required to enter into that purchase and sale agreement. I wanted to point one thing out really quickly too. I really tried hard to get this done before Rhonda left the council, because she was the mayor when the county was discussing closing the library, and really her leadership in establishing that committee to look at how we were going to save it is the reason that we're here now. And so I tried, but I couldn't get it done, and I apologize. So I can answer questions if you have any questions.
More of a comment, just this has been something that we've been so anxious about, we being your council members, but also the community, and I just feel like it's a really wonderful, positive thing to have at the end of a really challenging year. And so kudos to you. I know you were pushing hard with the county to try to get this done. So well done to the staff, and just wanted to convey my thanks.
Any other comments?
Is this where I would make a comment, or do I wait till after public comment?
You're a council member. You ask questions when you want.
Well, I don't have any questions. I just had a comment too. Well, I'll wait till we vote. Can I make a comment after we vote?
You should make a comment before we vote.
Okay. I'll get the hang of it. This is such joy to see this on our agenda. And I just want to thank everybody, from the very first people that brought this attention to the Rhonda for the ad hoc committee, to the Friends for running it, the volunteers, to Jim Holmes and his support. I am just so happy that this is on our agenda tonight. That's all.
Yeah, I concur. I think this is another positive step for our town, and I want to thank the Friends of the Library and everyone that had anything to do with saving the library. It's a true testament to what our values in this town are. So thank you. As a reminder, public comment will be held using the Zoom platform through the link on the agenda posted on the town's website. You must use the raise your hand feature to notice the town that you'd like to make a public comment. If you are joining only by phone, you will need to hit *9 to raise your hand.
So we do have one public comment so far. Supervisor Holmes, you're on. But you'll need to unmute yourself.
There you go.
There you go.
It's my pleasure to be able to be here tonight to address this issue. You know, when the county decided to close the library, I took a bunch of hits. When we came down to the town council, poor Mary George, our county librarian, was basically almost in tears trying to explain things to the council. She did a great job, and I was there for her to try to ease the pain on her behalf. But the unintended consequence of this was the rallying cry. Brought the community together for one important issue. I was so proud of the town of Loomis, and even the folks that live outside of the area were really, really engaged and wanted to save that library. It took quite a while to get everything resolved, but today is, and we'll finalize this on Tuesday. Today is really a historic moment. I'm just so proud of the town of Loomis.
Jim, you're cutting out, Jim.
Sorry, must be on your end. No, I'm just proud of the town and the Friends of the Library, and the library staff now is just unbelievable. So hopefully this is a bright day for at the end of a terrible year, but as we move forward, it'll be a great resolution for the town of Loomis. So thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Any other public comment?
We do have one more here. Gene, you are on, but you need to unmute yourself.
There we go. Am I unmuted?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I wanted especially to thank Rhonda for, I was on her committee, and it was a long battle. I was at the Friends meeting the day that Mary George, head of the library, came and told us that they were closing us. That was in February. Told us we were going to be closed in May of 2015. So this has been a 5.5 year struggle to get our library where it is today. And I just want to thank everybody that worked so hard on that. The people on the campaign committee. Rick put a lot of work into it, getting even the lease that we could have it leased for the 10 years. So thanks to him too, and all the work that John's put in to get this for us. So thank you to everyone. And this has been a real forward move for our town for a long time to come. And I had been in contact with Marcia Gates of the Gates family, whose family had sold or donated the Memorial Hall and Library space. And I'll try again to get a hold of her family and tell them the good news too.
Thank you, Jean. See any more public comment?
Yeah, we have one more. Well, Miguel raised his hand, but then he didn't raise his hand. I'm going to allow him to talk here, and maybe he'll... Miguel, you can... there you go. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you. I think it's great that the town will be able to purchase the library. One thing I'd like the town to consider in the future, as you know, the village is exactly what's going to happen with that, I'm not sure. But I'd like the town to consider purchasing an additional 2 to 3 acres adjacent to the library if any development goes in to the villages, so that you can have additional space for expansion and or parking, and to nail that down before somebody else decides what they want to do with it. Thank you.
Thanks, Miguel.
It looks like that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So we'll bring it back to council now for discussion and action.
I would like to make a motion. I would like to make a motion to adopt the resolution approving a purchase and sale agreement with Placer County for the Loomis Library Building and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement.
Second.
We have...
I can second.
Okay, we have a motion and 2 seconds, so can we have a roll call vote?
Okay, Councilmember Clark-Kretz?
Aye.
And I think Baker said it first. Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Nicely?
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright?
Aye.
Mayor Duncan?
Aye. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Our next item is the Housing Element Committee assignments. I'll turn it over to Planning Director Mary Beth Van Der Rees.
Thank you. Good evening, new council. What we have for you tonight is regarding the General Plan Update Housing Element Committee assignments. At our last meeting, the Town Council approved the structure of the committee. It was in August of this year that we opened up the selection process for people to volunteer and submit statement of interests to serve on committees. We have more than just the housing committee, but to date we've received 54 applications, and what's included in your package are the applications received for housing only and the cutoff time for that submittal was October 23rd. So that brought us to the last meeting, the structure where the council approved by council the selection of a member of the council to serve as chairman on that committee and a member of the planning commission to serve as vice chairman of that committee. So with those motions, we have Jeff Duncan serving as chairman, Greg Obranovich serving as vice chairman. The next level of that was each council member that was seated at that time was able to select one member to serve on the committee. And with that, we received Gary Liss, Matt Fox, David Ring, and Russell Kelly. There are also 2 auxiliary members on that committee, which are chosen by the mayor of the committee and the chairman of that committee and the vice chairman of that committee. So those assignments were done after that November 10th meeting, and the placements for that were Gene Wilson and Ed Horton as auxiliary members. So at this time, well, let me go back. The November 10th meeting, at the time, Mayor Clark Kretz selected Sonia Coupler to serve as her member on the committee. And since that appointment, Sonia has expressed her desire to withdraw her application at this time to serve on any of the committees. So at this time, what we're looking for is your appointments for Jan Clark Kretz, Jenny Nisley, and Danny Cartwright as new members of persons to serve in their capacity on the Housing Committee. So the staff report kind of indicates a total of 9 members. That math was wrong. The Housing Committee, because of the changing of the guard on the council, will actually have a total of 11 committee members on it. Still with the 2 auxiliary non-voting members, but a total of 9 voting members. I'm able to answer any questions you have. You were provided the list of the committee volunteers and their statement of interests. And at this time, we just look for your appointments for the Housing Committee. Once appointed, our first committee meeting is tomorrow afternoon. So the 3 new members will kind of either have to get up to speed real quick, or hopefully they've been kind of paying attention going along. So we'll look forward to having a full committee.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Mary Beth before you make your appointments?
I do. I am concerned about that tomorrow being the date, and we have 3 people that really don't know that they're supposed to be there. So is there a way we can be a little flexible about the date tomorrow? Potentially give, especially if the 3 newly appointeds can't make it. I would be concerned about that.
Yeah, what we've done to that regard, because of the short turnaround time frame and the time frame of actually getting the housing element done, we kind of need to work expeditiously. Tomorrow's meeting will kind of be an introduction, overview, and homework. So the main committee will actually be tasked and going forward in January. But this will get them up and running, give them homework assignments to do from this point till our next meeting. The next meeting scheduled for January 13th. And then the consultant contract provides for 3 meetings of this committee. So we'll have the first meeting, the second meeting. The second meeting will determine the third meeting, which may be a month or 2 out based on where we're at with our accomplishments.
Okay, and then you'll let the appointees know first thing in the morning?
First thing, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And Mary Beth, is that recorded?
The meetings are done via Zoom, recorded by the consultant, and will be available to post afterwards. Everybody is invited to attend. If you're not part of the committee, you can kind of sit back like in a Zoom meeting and watch and listen. We'll open it up for comments at the end and go from there. It's a regularly noticed public meeting in accordance with the Brown Act.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, so let's do the appointments first, then we'll ask for public comment, and then we'll have the council affirm the appointments. So I'll ask, I want to say Mayor, Council Member Clark Kretz, who'd she like to appoint to the committee?
Thank you, Mayor Duncan. I would like to appoint Maureen Volley.
Okay, all right, thank you. And Council Member Cartwright?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to appoint Thomas Savage.
Okay. All right, thank you. And Jenny, who would you like to appoint?
I'd like to appoint Kiera Mosier.
All right, thanks, Jenny. Okay, so let's see, where am I at? Public comment.
Right.
Right. Do we have any?
Yeah. Miguel, you're on. You just need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. I was just wondering, what time is the meeting to be held?
Both meetings that are already scheduled, the December and January meetings, will begin at 3 o'clock, and they're scheduled for about an hour. May go maybe a half hour over based on comments and questions. So 3 o'clock to maybe 4:30.
Okay, thank you.
That's all the public comments that we have.
Okay, so now we'll bring it back to the council to affirm the appointments.
I'll move approval of appointments.
I'll second.
Councilmember Baker?
Aye.
Councilmember Clark Kretz?
Aye.
Councilmember Nisley?
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright?
Aye.
Mayor Duncan?
Aye. Okay. Let's see. So the motion passes unanimously. So now at this time, I'd like to move the closed session item to the very bottom of the agenda. So let's have the council committee reports next. Anything to report? No.
I would like to just say something, because I would just like to say for the Leadership Loomis that I wanted to thank the Leadership Loomis for all their hard work out there with those lights. And I also wanted to recognize two businesses that actually really did a lot to help us out and donated, and that would be Lighthouse Window Cleaning and our hardware store, Loomis Ace Hardware Store.
Thanks, Jenny. It's going to be really nice having those lights up in town, brighten this.
I hope it's something we expand on and continue.
All right, thank you. Okay. So now, so do we have any members wishing to comment on this item?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so now we'll adjourn into closed session. Thank you all for virtually attending our meeting tonight. There will be a statement of action taken during the closed session after we are finished. So we move into closed session at this time.
Yeah, we're going to go to the back room because of the Zoom stuff. So.
How is Jenny going to do? Well, we could just call in.
Well, we have the duplex phone, but it doesn't do more than one call.
How about just your regular phone?
Okay, so did I note the time? It's 9:13 p.m. and we just returned from closed session, and there's
Is your microphone on?
yes,
Okay.
there's no reportable action taken. Thank you, and meeting is adjourned. If the guys